get it down here. I don't think that they get a spin class rocket one, but I haven't paid that close attention. Okay, briefly here, this here is the dummy mirror for the 4-meter telescope. This is what they put in the telescope when they're trying to balance it all out and everything. Rather than put the actual mirror in, they put this big hunk of concrete in there. Then the Tono Ultim have an artist by the name of Michael Chiago. He painted this thing up here, and basically what it shows is Baba Kiveri there, right there, which is exactly due south of us here. That's the Tono Ultim's most sacred mountain. And here the Tono Ultim out in the desert picking the fruits off of a saguaro cactus. This stick that they use here is called a whippeth, and it's actually the sticks that make up a dead saguaro. That's all. It's what's in the saguaro is canes like this. This Tono Ultim are the only one who are allowed to go out and actually take the fruit off of those cactus.
Even now?
Well, they're done fruiting now. But yeah, I mean, like in June or something is when they fruit.
Which one is the 4-meter one? Where are we getting it? That
yeah, it's something right up there. Okay, let's walk a little further here, and then whoever needs to have that. Oh, okay, yeah, I have one more stop before we go up the hill. So if you want to just walk with us, and then you can come back and get your car and drive up there. Are you guys ready? Yeah, that's where you'll end up driving up to the top up there. Okay? Observatory is kind of down at the end of the road here, the silver one and then the white one. Both of those telescopes are part of what they call Project Space Watch. The one on the left is a 1.8 meter and the one on the right is a 0.9 meter, so that's how big their mirrors are. Project Space Watch involves looking into space for near-Earth asteroids, near-Earth objects and everything, trying to locate them before they hit us. Because if we do locate one, there isn't much we can do to get out of their way, but anyway, so that's what it's used for. Actually, over there in the Catalina Mountains there, up on Mount Lemmon, the University of Arizona has what they call the Catalina Sky Survey, and that finds probably about 70% of the near-Earth asteroids that come by us. But it's telescopes like this that frequently go and study them a little further to get a better idea of exactly what their orbital elements are going to be and whether they're going to be a real threat to us or not. So anyway, and the one on the right is the Steward telescope that was originally down on the campus. It's also referred to as the All-American telescope because it's actually the first telescope that was completely made in the United States. Up previous to World War I, all the telescope mirrors and lenses and stuff were made in Europe, like Germany and France and that. But then after World War I came along, and they decided over here that, gee, it'd probably be a good idea if we could make our own mirrors and lenses and everything. So in like 1921, 22, the U of A hired a company called Spencer Optics out of Buffalo, New York, to make a 1-meter telescope mirror for them, which they did. And so it ended up being down on the U of A campus there. And then in 1963, this ended up being brought up here. And the new just to the right of it. So that's the newer one. Why do we care about these near-Earth objects and all that rigmarole? Well, about 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs, they didn't have a program or anything to keep an eye on asteroids and comets and such. And one got by them and hit them, and well, you know the rest of the story on that. It's probably a good thing that we actually got hit, because if we didn't get hit, we wouldn't be here. I'd probably be talking to a bunch of dinosaurs or something. I don't know. Yeah, and I'd be a dinosaur too. So that happened 65 million years ago. Then we go back 50,000 years up to northern Arizona, where there's a meteor crater, or Barringer crater, whatever you want to call it. That was a large asteroid that hit up there and created a hole in the ground about a mile in diameter and 500 feet deep. So that happened. You go back to 1913 in Siberia, in Tunguska. Some object struck up there, and was probably about 20 years before they got into that location because it was so remote and everything. But they went there and looked, and they saw that all the forest up there was just completely flattened for about 800 square miles, and they don't really know what caused that. Then, of course, we only have to go back a few years to Chelyabinsk, where some big asteroid or something came in, and fortunately came in at a shallow enough angle that it spread a lot of the energy over a large area rather than impacting into that town of Chelyabinsk, which probably would have really decimated it. So after that happened, I guess we really found out that we need to find some of these more modest-sized meteors. Up until then, we've been looking for all the big ones, and we found the really big ones, but it's probably these more medium and small-sized ones that could, wipe out a big city anymore that we got to be interested in yet still. So that one that came into Chelyabinsk, unfortunately, it came in from the sun, so there was no way we could see it coming. The day after, we were expecting a meteor to come by, or an asteroid to come by very close to Earth, within about 15,000 miles of Earth. So we were all waiting for that one. But then the day before, this thing comes screaming in and surprised the heck out of us. So you just never know when. So keep your eyes open.
Looks flat over there. Huh? What's that? Uh-huh. Extreme fire danger today.
USA campus up until 63. Okay, this is the Steward Observatory with the Bart Bok telescope. Bart Bok was a astronomer who was very interested in the Milky Way, which is our home galaxy. So it was in the 1940s that he was asked to write a book on the Milky Way. His wife Priscilla was also an astronomer. So they were working at Harvard at the time, so they asked him to write a book on the Milky Way. So he says, okay, we'll do that. So the idea was that he was going to write like 4 chapters, and then she was going to write 4 chapters, and they'll combine it in a book. So anyway, she got done writing her 4 chapters probably sooner than he got his done, and he came home one night and settled himself on his easy chair in front of the fireplace, and she walked over to Bart with her document and said, "Here's Bart, I got my work done." And well, he starts paging through it, and before too long he starts getting very critical. And after a while she didn't appreciate that, so she walks over there to him and grabs the papers and everything and grabs them away and walks over to the fireplace and says, "Hey, if you don't like what I did, I'll just throw them in the fireplace." He says, "No, that's okay, that's okay." So anyway, finally the book got published and everything, and after the reviewers did the reviewing on it and everything, it turned out that the reviewers actually preferred the portions she did to what he'd done. So it was bigger. Anyway, like I say, Bart was very interested in the Milky Way. Now here is a representation of our Milky Way. Now that little red dot is our sun, okay? See where we are in the Milky Way? Yes, it's very small. See where our sun is in our Milky Way galaxy. Okay, see the little red dot there? So anyway, the Milky Way is about 120,000 light years this way, about 1,000 light years thick. We also have a central bulge there too that you can't see, but it's there. So 120,000 light years, what the heck's that? Well, a light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. So after you do all the calculations and everything, it turns out to be about 6 trillion miles away. So when somebody says something is a light year away, or somebody says something is 6 trillion miles away, what they're saying is it's a light year away. And so something that's a light year away actually takes light 1 year to travel from that point to us. Now our sun is pretty close by. It's only 19 million miles away. So at the speed of light, it only takes 8 1/3 minutes to get here. Okay. Our moon, right up there, it shines by reflected light. It's only about 240,000 miles away. So it's only like a late second or so away. The nearest star to us is Proxima Centauri. That is 4.3 light years away. So 4.3 times 6 trillion miles, 24 trillion miles away. That's the closest one. The closest galaxy to us that's kind of similar to ours is what they call the Andromeda Galaxy, which is in the constellation Andromeda, which if you go out tonight, exactly where to look, you can actually see it. If you're in a good dark area, you'd actually be able to see it with your naked eye. So that particular object is 2.5 million light years away. So 2.5 million times 6 trillion miles away. But that is the most distant thing that a person can see with the human eye. So that gives you some kind of idea of the immense distances of our universe. Nothing's close by. Okay, anyway, one interesting thing about our Milky Way galaxy, and actually all galaxies, is at the center of a galaxy is what they call a supermassive black hole. And it's about 4.3 million times the mass of our sun. So that thing at the center of our galaxy is 4.3 million times as big as our sun. Now, how do they know that there's this supermassive black hole there? Well, using radio telescopes, like I'll show you in a little bit, looking at the center of our galaxy using infrared, near-infrared cameras and telescopes like I was telling you about before, they're actually able to cut through all the dust and gunk that's at the center of our galaxy to see what's going on in there. And what they found was a little spot where there wasn't anything. That's the black hole. But what makes it interesting is the fact that around that little spot of nothing are several dozen, 3 dozen stars that orbit that little spot in their very close, tight orbits. And being able to figure out what the mass of those stars are and everything, and determining their orbits and everything, they're able to figure